The United States and Iran have agreed to a 2-week ceasefire. Both sides claim decisive victory, but in reality, the truce is fragile at best because since the truce came into implementation, attacks have been reported across the Gulf and Iran. This war may have cost American President Donald Trump far more than he had anticipated, with long-term implications. Before we break this down for you, let's first focus at where things stand at the moment. Trump says that he's suspending the bombing of Iran for 2 weeks and called it a double-sided ceasefire. The U.S. says it had decisive military victory in Operation Epic Fury, claiming that Iran begged for the ceasefire.
Operation Epic Fury was a historic and overwhelming victory on the battlefield. A capital V military victory. By any measure, Epic Fury decimated Iran's military and rendered it combat ineffective for years to come.
Now, Iran has asked its forces to stop firing, but it warns the hands remain on the trigger. Talks between both the sides are reportedly set to begin in Islamabad from the 10th of April, with the possibility of extension if both sides agree. But even as diplomacy begins, the attacks have not fully stopped. Within hours of this ceasefire, its fragility already started showing. Explosions hit the Lebanon refinery in southern Iran. Now, soon after, missile and drone attacks occurred on various Gulf countries as well, including the UAE, Kuwait, Saudi Arabia and Bahrain. The UAE says that it was targeted with 17 Iranian missiles, 35 drones. Saudi Arabia said east-west oil pipeline was hit. Its defense ministry said that 9 drones were intercepted in the recent hours, while Bahrain said that an Iranian drone attack injured 2 people in the country. And just a short while back, Tehran said that it shot down Hermes 900 drone over southern Iran, warning that violations of airspace will draw decisive response. So is this just a ceasefire on paper? Because on ground, the war continues intermittently in Iran and Israel. The ceasefire evoked mixed reactions.
Hopefully it will last more than 2 weeks and it will come for peace. I can't say that I'm sure of it because, you know, the trust of the leaders in this area is it's very independable and we can't be sure what will happen next.
Everyone is relieved now. Aren't you relieved? May there always be peace and our people live in comfort.
In Isfahan, one of the war's hardest hit cities, people were out on the streets.
مردم در پاسخ به یاوه‌گویی‌های ترامپ از وفاداری به کشور و
Behind this temporary calm, the strategic costs for Trump are now beginning to gain even more focus. The United States did not succeed in triggering regime change in Iran. There were no mass uprisings. Instead, thousands of Iranians rallied in support of their government, many even under heavy bombing. Iran continues to hold a significant missile capability as well. Across the Gulf, the damage is visible. Multiple countries came under relentless drone and rocket attacks. U.S. defensive systems were stretched. Interceptors ran low and several attacks breached defenses. Many Gulf countries felt that they were left exposed by inadequate protection despite hosting American military assets. In Europe, meanwhile, cracks have emerged within NATO. While key countries like Spain, France and Italy restricted U.S. military operations, closing airspace and denying access to bases, even traditional allies kept their distance from direct involvement. At various points, remember, Trump had denounced NATO support in this war and has even threatened to pull out of the alliance, highlighting the breakdown of the relationship between Washington and Brussels. In the United States, meanwhile, the political impact for Trump due to this war ahead of the midterm elections in November this year appear quite significant. A recent YouGov Economist poll shows Trump's net approval at minus 23%, which is one of the lowest in his presidency so far, both in his first and the second term. So as things stand at the moment, what we are seeing is not the end of a war, because tensions have refused to fade out. Both Iran and America have told their respective forces to stay ready. Over the weekend, an American F-15E jet was shot down over Iran. Both the pilot and the weapon systems officer ejected, and they were rescued in separate missions. New details now reveal that the downed officer was reportedly located not by sight or sound, but by the faint electromagnetic signal of his own heartbeat. According to a report by the New York Post, in the high-risk operation, the CIA had deployed a classified technology known as the ghost murmur to track and recover the weapons systems officer who was shot down in southern Iran. The technology reportedly uses advanced sensors to detect the unique electromagnetic signal generated by a human heartbeat, even from a long distance, and then uses AI to filter out background noise across vast terrain. The rescue reportedly marked the first operational use of the tool in the field. Following the culmination of the rescue mission, at the White House briefing, American officials, including the American President Donald Trump and the CIA Director John Ratcliffe, alluded at the undisclosed capabilities used during the mission.
We deployed both human assets and exquisite technologies that no other intelligence service in the world possesses to a daunting challenge, comparable to hunting for a single grain of sand in the middle of a desert. This was also a race against the clock, as it was critical that we locate the downed aviator as quickly as possible.
According to the New York Post report, the ghost murmur technology has been developed by American aerospace and defense company Lockheed Martin's secretive division, and the system has reportedly undergone testing on American Black Hawk helicopters. It is expected to integrate with next-generation fighter jets like the F-35. The rescued officer, identified publicly only as Dude 44 Bravo, survived for 2 days in a remote mountainous region after his F-15E was brought down, along with the pilot of the jet who was rescued in a separate mission. Injured and in hiding, the F-15E weapons officer evaded Iranian search teams actively, combing the area. Despite activating a survival beacon, his exact location remained unclear until ghost murmur reportedly locked onto his heart rhythm. The barren terrain in Iran's Zagros Mountains, with low human presence, reportedly created ideal conditions for the system to function with precision. Now, because this technology reportedly has limitations, it performs best in isolated environments and requires significant processing time. But in this case, it reportedly proved decisive. America's critical infrastructure is practically under digital siege. U.S. federal agencies warn that Iran-linked hackers are actively disrupting multiple American industrial sites, from oil and gas facilities to water treatment plants. Reportedly, these attacks are hitting essential services in the country, raising questions about U.S. national security as well as public safety. American authorities issued an advisory confirming that hackers tied to Tehran have breached industrial control systems across multiple sectors in the recent weeks. These intrusions have forced some facilities to shut down, automated processes, and switch to manual operations, potentially exposing serious vulnerabilities in systems which are designed to protect human life. U.S. officials reportedly described this as a clear escalation in cyber warfare following the ongoing tensions between U.S. and Iran. The advisory was issued before the 2-week ceasefire in West Asia was announced. Iran-linked hackers last month leaked emails stolen from the FBI director Kash Patel's private account. They've also allegedly disrupted business for a major U.S. medical device maker, among others. While officials have not disclosed the names of the affected companies or the full scale of the damage, they do confirm operational disruptions and financial losses. The warning, remember, comes in a joint advisory which was issued by top U.S. agencies, including cybersecurity, intelligence, and defense bodies. They've all urged American companies to immediately secure or disconnect vulnerable internet-linked systems to prevent further breaches. Investigators identify the perpetrators as Iran-affiliated advanced persistent threat actors, like highly sophisticated groups, often linked to state military or intelligence units. The cyber offensive shows how modern warfare has been evolving. When some missiles cannot reach targets, malicious code can. And it is appearing now to be striking at America's very core.